I honestly thought Marcus was just tired, the kind of tired that a good weekend fixes. A little space, a little quiet, and he'd come back to himself. I'd seen it before. I told myself I knew him. I didn't know him at all. It happened on a Tuesday. Ordinary in every way. I'd been out with my work friends, just drinks, nothing crazy. Lost track of time a little. When I got home around 10, Marcus was in the living room. Lights low, no TV, just sitting there. "Hey," I said, dropping my bag by the door. "Sorry, ran late." He nodded. I figured that was it. No tone. No edge. I actually felt relieved. "See? Fine." I kicked off my shoes and started talking. Told him about a drama at work, about how my coworker knocked a whole tray of drinks off the bar, about nothing. He listened. Quiet. Too quiet. I caught myself mid-sentence. "You okay?" He looked up. "Yeah, I'm listening." Something about the way he said it made me stop. Not because it was cold, because it was careful. Like he was choosing every word. I sat down across from him. "If this is about me going out again," he shook his head. "It's not. Then what?" He was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "I think I've been waiting a long time for something that isn't coming." My stomach dropped. "What does that mean?" He stood up, not dramatically. Just stood up, like it was the most natural thing in the world, and he walked toward the bedroom. I followed him. "Marcus, talk to me." He opened the closet, pulled out a bag from the top shelf. And I laughed. I actually laughed. "You're not serious." He didn't answer. He started folding a shirt. Calm hands. Steady. That laugh died somewhere in my chest. And standing there watching him, I remembered something I hadn't thought about in months. His birthday. March. 4 months ago. He'd asked me, not hinted, actually asked, if we could do something small. Just dinner. Just us. He said he didn't need anything big. He just wanted one night where my phone stayed in my purse. I said yes. I meant it when I said it. But then a work thing came up. A client dinner my boss personally asked me to attend, and I told myself Marcus would understand. He always understood. That was the thing about him. He never made a scene. Never guilt-tripped me. He just said, "Okay, no worries, we'll do it another time." So I went to the client dinner. I remember texting him from the restaurant, "Saving us a rain check. Next week, I promise." He sent back a thumbs up. Not even words, just a thumbs up. I remember thinking he was being a little cold. I remember being mildly annoyed at him for that. Now, standing in our bedroom watching him pack, I understood what that thumbs up actually was. It was a man who had stopped expecting anything different. It was someone quietly closing a door he'd been holding open for too long. And I had read it as passive aggression. I had been so sure I knew what his silences meant. I'd been translating them wrong the entire time. "Marcus," I said. My voice came out smaller than I meant it to. "That dinner. In March. I should have." He looked up. I kept going. I should have told my boss no. "It was your birthday." I knew it mattered, and I went anyway. He was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "I know. That's it. Just, I know. No anger. No finally." Just 2 words that told me he'd already processed that night, moved through it, and filed it away with all the others. I felt sick. How many others were there? How many times had he quietly closed another door while I was busy not noticing? "Marcus, stop. You're upset. You're not thinking straight." He paused, looked at me, and I saw it. Not anger, not tears. Just this quiet, settled certainty, like a man who had already made peace with something painful and was on the other side of it. "I'm not upset," he said. "I've actually been really calm for a while now." That's how I knew. Knew what? That I'd been asking you to see me. And you kept looking just past me. I opened my mouth. "I see you. I'm right here." He smiled. It wasn't a happy smile. It was the kind of smile you give someone when you feel sorry for them. "You're here," he said. "But you stopped being present a long time ago." And I kept telling myself you'd come back, that you were just busy, just stressed, just going through something. He zipped the bag halfway. But last month I realized this isn't a season for you. This is just who you are with me now. My throat felt tight. That's not fair. You can't put that on me. I'm not putting anything on you, he said. I'm just finally being honest about what I've been pretending not to see. I felt panic rising. So what? One late night and you're done? That's your reason? He shook his head slowly. The late nights aren't the reason. They're just the thing that stopped surprising me. He picked up the bag. I stepped in front of him. Marcus, please, we can talk about this. We can fix this. He stopped, looked at me with something that might have been love once. Or maybe it still was. That was almost worse. I know you mean that, he said, but you've meant it before. And then a week goes by and everything goes back to how it was. And I go back to feeling invisible. I didn't have an answer for that. He stepped around me gently. I followed him to the door, my voice cracking now. You're really leaving. Just like that, he stopped at the threshold, turned back. I didn't just decide this tonight, he said quietly. I've been deciding it for months. Tonight just made it easy. I grabbed his arm. How? How did tonight make it easy? He looked at me for a long moment. Then he said, because when I told you I needed more, you told me I was overreacting. Again. And I waited to feel hurt. And I didn't. I just felt tired. And I thought, if her pulling away doesn't hurt anymore, I'm already gone. My chest split open. Marcus. He reached out, put his hand on my face. Gentle. Final. Thank you, he said. I blinked. For what? For being exactly who you are. It made this easier than I thought it would be. And then he kissed my forehead. Soft. Like a goodbye you practice so it doesn't wreck you. And he walked out. No slamming door. No shouting down the hall. Just the quiet click of the latch. I stood in the doorway for a long time, staring at the empty parking space where his car used to be. It took me until 3 a.m. to understand what had happened. He had it left because he was angry. He left because he'd already grieved me. Quietly. Privately. While I was out at happy hour. While I was half listening at dinner. While I was physically present and completely somewhere else. He was saying goodbye. And I never even noticed. I used to think silence meant things were okay. Now I know silence is how a man leaves without leaving. By the time you hear the door, he's already been gone for months. Don't mistake his patience for permission. Don't mistake his quiet for contentment. Some people love you loudly. They fight, they push, they demand. But some people love you softly. And when soft people leave, they're already gone before you feel the cold. This is broken vows. If this hit you somewhere you didn't expect, sit with that. It might be trying to tell you something.